Welcome to my YouTube channel, Homeopathy Super Sessions by Dr. Jagose. Today is the second video of remedy reaction, and I'll be dealing with the observations on amelioration. So the fifth observation is amelioration followed by aggravation. Initially, the patient feels better after the administration of the remedy. So when you administer the remedy, for some time, the patient will feel better or the patient is ameliorated. And after a few weeks later, the patient complains that his symptoms are now worse. And when he comes to you for a follow-up, maybe after 7 days or 14 days, or whenever you call him, he will tell you that his symptoms are worse. He will tell you that the first day I came to you, whatever medicine you had given me, I felt a good relief, which lasted only for some time. And then after the 6th day onwards, I am not feeling better. In fact, I am feeling worse. That is why amelioration followed by aggravation. Though good many symptoms have been ameliorated once, the reaction is totally unfavorable. So no doubt, a majority of symptoms have reduced under the influence of the similimum, what we had given, but this reaction is unfavorable. Why? Because amelioration is followed by aggravation. Otherwise, the patient should have been totally ameliorated without any aggravation. So, when a large chunk of symptoms have been ameliorated at one go and the patient doesn't feel better after some time, it shows that the reaction is totally unfavorable and you take some action. So, you can conclude that the remedy was a superficial acting one and could only act as a palliative. That means what? The remedy, whatever you have taken, you have only taken a very superficial acting remedy and it could act as a palliative, or the patient was incurable and the remedy was somewhat suitable, or probably the pathology was advanced, the end organ changes have taken place, it's an incurable case, and the remedy was only somewhat suitable or it was a partially similar. This can be confirmed by re-examination of the patient and finding out if the symptoms relate to the remedy. So you can confirm it, you can re-examine the case, retake the case, re-examine the patient and find out whether the symptoms are there to the remedy. So out here, the remedy was only a partially similar to the case. That means what? It did not cover up the whole case. It did not cover up the constitutional state of the patient. That means what? When you have taken the case, you have taken the case very superficially. Superficially meaning what? Either you have taken a sector totality, meaning from the chief complaint, whatever sector was involved, whatever location was involved, whatever part was involved, whatever system was involved, you have only taken those complaints and then you have prescribed for the patient. So therefore, the remedy was only a partially similar. That means what? You had only taken one part of the case. You hadn't taken the man as a whole. So as a result of which, whatever remedy you have chosen, it was only partially similar. It did not cover up the whole case. That means what? You haven't taken the remaining constitutional symptoms of the case with regard to the mentals, the physical generals, the particulars, including the pathology. And the remedy selected was an unfavorable one and the patient was incurable. So therefore, what happens? It might indicate that whatever remedy you have selected on the superficial level, it wasn't the correct remedy, it was an unfavorable one, and it could also conclude that the patient also could be incurable or the pathology had also advanced. In such a reaction, it is best that the expressions come back exactly as they were before. So in such a reaction, you just have to wait and watch and see see all the expressions in its true form. So what can you do? You can either give a placebo and tell the patient to come back after a few weeks, or you can antidote and again retake the case, let the natural expression of the disease come back exactly as they were before, and restudy the case and prescribe a correct remedy which covers the man as a whole. That means what? You have to take in detail the case, all the constitutional features regarding mental symptoms, which can be bifurcated into the symptoms of the will, symptoms of understanding, emotion, intellect, and subconscious. Then comes the physical generals to the personal history of the case, and then the particulars to the chief complaint of the case. So, and if any pathology is there, that also you have taken note of, and you have made and you have written the full case, and then you have evaluated the case according to the laws of evaluation, and you have restudied the full case, and then you have selected a remedy which covers the full constitutional state of the patient, and this will be the correct remedy. Sixth observation, too short amelioration of the symptoms of the patient. So it means that the relief after the constant remedy does not last long enough as it ought to. That means after giving the medicine, the amelioration is only for a few hours or maybe a few days. So that means what? It means that whatever medicine you have given or whatever constitutional features you have taken to select the right remedy, it had not lasted long enough, or it had not lasted according to your expectations. It means that the structural changes are taking place, the organs are destroyed or in the process of being destroyed, and in acute case, this type of reaction occurs in acute inflammatory diseases. So in such diseases where there's an acute inflammation in the internal organs, then you will get too short amelioration of the symptoms of the patient. That will indicate that the structural changes are there, or the organs are being destroyed, or the process of being destroyed, and the constitutional remedy does not give enough relief to the patient, and or doesn't last long enough as it ought to. Seventh observation, full-time amelioration, yet no special relief to the symptoms of the patient. So such a reaction are seen in certain patients where amelioration can occur only up to a certain extent as long as action of the medicine continues. So as long as you're giving the medicine either in frequent or in infrequent repetition, and as long as the medicine continues, the patient will feel better or the symptoms will be ameliorated. So these are generally incurable cases, and homeopathy can only offer palliation. So in such instances whereby there's a full-time amelioration, yet no special relief to the symptoms of the patient. That means what? Patient is ameliorated, symptoms are less, but the pathology is not touched, or the pathology remains the same, or the pathology goes on advancing. Therefore, subjectively, the patient will feel better. But if you go to see the investigations, if you do the investigation later on, you will see that they remain the same, or in fact, they have been increased. So therefore, you have come to a conclusion that this case is an incurable case, and I can only achieve palliation. I cannot cure this case, but as long as the patient is under the influence of the stimulant, the patient will feel better. Moment I withdraw the stimulus, again the symptoms will come, and maybe the pathology will still advance still further. So therefore, they are generally incurable cases, and only palliation can be offered. Such patients are curable only to a certain extent, but the patient doesn't rise above a certain pitch. So basically, after administering the remedy, whatever symptoms are there, the patient subjectively will feel better, and whatever improvement has taken place will take place. But after that, no further improvement will take place. So therefore, the patient doesn't rise above a certain pitch. So basically, what are we doing? We are doing palliation. That is the reduction of the intensity of the symptoms without much affecting the state of susceptibility. So this type of reaction will always be seen in those cases where there's an advanced pathology, irreversible pathology, end organ damage, and you cannot cure the case, but you can only offer some relief. That is palliation. The remedy is administered acts favorably, but the patient is not cured. In fact, he can never be cured. So you always have to come to a conclusion that whatever medicine you have chosen according to the law of similars. So the law of palliation is the same as the law of similars, because you are choosing a remedy according to the law of similars. So taking the totality according to the law of similars, you are seeing which remedy fits the patient well, and you're giving it. And at the back of the mind, you are always keeping that in mind, saying that it is an incurable case, the patient will never be cured, and in fact, he will never be cured. That means you will only give some temporary relief to the patient. Thus, the patient is palliated, and it is a suitable palliation. It is a suitable palliation for homeopathic remedies. So, therefore, whatever remedies you are giving in an incurable case, those remedies will act in a palliative direction or in a palliative manner, will relieve the complaints of the patient as long as the medicine is active. So this is in short about the ameliorations. Now my last video, that's the third video, I'll be telling you about the remaining 8 to 12 observations. And I hope you like this video of mine. Please do subscribe, like, comment, share, and forward it to other people. Thank you very much.